something? We're live.
Basically, we're being dictated to. I don't mind sitting out there. I don't mind doing things with everybody else. But it's just that, first of all, my DVR doesn't work out there. Number two, if we were doing our own thing, so the fuck what? I mean, what? It doesn't mean we don't like each other. It doesn't mean we hate each other. It just means some of us like having time to ourselves. And as it is, I don't spend, as she herself pointed out the other day, I don't spend nearly the time in my room that Amanda does. So, I mean, now what?
The way that you said it.
Well, let's be blunt, shall we? I don't know if she's sitting in there licking the fur on her, but you know what? I'd sit in here a few hours a day. I watch TV and then I go out. I spend time outside. Okay. I spend a lot of time outside. So it's not like I am as much of I can't think of any other word. It's not like I'm as much of a hermit as she is. If she were a frog, we would call her Kermit the Hermit. I mean, yeah, see, that's why I like you. You laugh. That's what she is, Kermit the Hermit. I'm not anywhere like that. I just sit in my room a few hours a day and watch TV. That's all. Or play on my internet. That's all. At any rate, let's watch MLW.
Now, all three competitors offering handshakes here.
Tajiri looks like he has moves.
Tajiri and Noel.
He's an ECW original, dude.
Yeah, man boots.
And we are underway in this matchup. Again, no tags, none of that. It is a four-way battle.
I don't think he gained a lot of weight.
It's time to put Tajiri away early on.
Well, he's older too. That's
right here for the champion. And one of the things about a match like this,
Siri, how do it's Tajiri?
Eyes in the back of your head, or eyes on your hand in the case of Aries, because you've got opponents.
Siri, how do it's Yoshihiro Tajiri?
Aries trying to put Reed away, and now the crucifix is broken up. Myron Reed trying to get a release. Oh, what a super kick right to the chin.
How do is WWE Tajiri?
Honestly, you could make an argument that usually stay out there a little bit. It's early in the match. Everyone's
Dude, you asked Siri.
chances of a pinfall in the next
Siri,
minute or not.
how old is Tajiri?
A little later on. So let's see what Tajiri does here. Sometimes your opponents can lose track of you when there's this many bodies.
51.
Jeremy's will.
Hate to say it, but he looks a lot older.
He looks like he's in the 60s.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Took out there. And the bridge up as Aramis floats over. Straight jacket.
The two best rising stars from Mexico. The legend from Japan. The middleweight champion Myron Reed. So much talent in this match, but right now, it's Aramis and Aries. Aramis in the gold mask. Aries with the makeup, the face paint, the war paint. Very dangerous competitor, of course. But there, look at that flying head scissors.
Okay, I'm gonna go not out from the house until like tomorrow, but I'm gonna go to my room and show Miss Jessica the games I have. Also, if I don't come back, please do not bite yourself, Michael. That's what I wanted to tell you also. I'll be back. Or you want to come with?
No.
I'll just watch MLW with you.
Seeing the skills from Myron Reed here as he floats to the outside. It's the greatest of these and comes right back in with the guillotine leg drop.
Snake shot guillotine leg drop. Myron Reed, very focused. It is going to have to be. the important thing in a matchup like this, St. Laurent, is that Reed technically doesn't have to lose, but he can lose the title.
That's true, and that's why we talked about the courage to be willing to defend this kind of situation. But when Cesar Duran's calling the shots, you might not have a choice.
Oh, the Japanese buzzsaw. Tajiri. Important to note here, Tajiri initially trained as a kickboxer.
Yes, he
St.
did.
Laurent.
Some of the most lethal kicks that we have ever seen in this sport. The Japanese buzzsaw back in the 2300 arena, fighting for the middleweight championship of the world, trying to bring it back to Japan, to All Japan Pro Wrestling. You got Aramis, and Aramis trying to bring the title back to Mexico. Truly a world championship, Rich.
Aramis. Ducking, weaving, the outside, weaving arm tracks, hits Tajiri across the ring. Connected with a drop kick, Tajiri to the outside. Aramis with speed. Slowed by Aris, who then dives through the ropes and takes out Tajiri. Heads up for Aramis, suicide dive.
Aris, who's known for his street style.
Diving through the ropes and takes out Aramis. Heads up now for Aris, over the top.
Somersault Plancha onto the champion, but here comes Aramis.
Full speed ahead, over the top.
Myron Reed.
Oh boy, here we go. Reed over the top. World middleweight title on the line here in this matchup in Philadelphia.
I could maybe eat 2 cheeseburgers and a cherry latte.
Oh, yeah. What size? Route 44?
Flames you up.
She's schizophrenic. That's some serious shit.
Dark Side of the Ring. New episode next Thursday at 9.
Wait, about who?
Hold on. Let me rewind it.
Oh, Luna Vachon.
You're breaking up with me? No, he's just shopping on car gurus. Oh, sure. Really? We take out the guesswork by analyzing prices, options, even vehicle history. And only 30% of cars are in our highest deal ratings, so...
We're good.
Car gurus. Start your search, find your deal.
When you saw Luna, you were seeing a monster come to life.
My mom was the bad girl.
Crazy, wild, satanic. It would go from like,
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's so sweet. To, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
Up in flames you go.
She's schizophrenic. That's some serious shit.
Dark Side of the Ring. New episode next Thursday at 9 on Vice.
Middleweight title on the line here tonight in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. MLW Fightland. This place is rocking here tonight, St. Laurent.
But all 4 men now, Rich, have taken so much damage. It was plancha after plancha after plancha, and then Aramis with the gorgeous moonsault from the top to the floor. It's Aramis back to his feet first, trying to take it to Myron Reed, but there's Tajiri.
Aramis turns his back momentarily. Oh my God, Myron Reed!
A flying ace crusher over the top rope to the floor, taking out everybody. And this is now the champion's best shot he's had so far to retain, Rich.
Quickly sends Aramis back into the ring. No cap splash! Myron Reed to retain the title. Oh my God! Tajiri with the big kick. Tajiri. Brainbuster! Cover to put this away. No! Harrison there to break it up. Let's take another look. There's Myron Reed with that crusher over the top rope. Wiped everyone out. As Tajiri now. Oh! Harris able to connect with the kick. Missed that time, and Tajiri with a stop to the back. Harris able to roll through, double stop. And Tajiri. Try and take a breather as the action continues. Harris setting up Aramis. Use the ropes for leverage. Oh, man. Aramis
Flex into the cover.
Tajiri right there to break it up.
But it's
All the
just
rest
so
of us
different,
died.
Rich.
Wow.
Even
That sounds
with
like a
great
show I
suplex like
love
that,
to watch.
to not put
Sounds
yourself in a
uplifting,
situation where someone
positive,
can blindside
yeah.
you. As we've seen Tajiri do several
All the
times,
rest of us died.
keeping his hopes
Okay.
alive, but now Aramis is trapped in the tarantula.
Innovated by Tajiri.
Look at this. A three-way.
Kick it away. Releases the hold.
You said three-way.
Championship on the line of this matchup here at Fightland.
Oh no.
Finish this off with. Maybe he will. Myron Reed is lucky right there. He's wearing that chest protector, but look at the precision of Tajiri.
Yeah,
Look
but
where
he's
he's
kicking
kicking.
right under that chest protector. That pinpoint accuracy that Tajiri is so well known for.
Aramis missed with the clothesline. Drop kick, leg sweep. Aramis. Looking for the double underhook. Aramis able to get free. Forearm smash and Zagiri. And Aramis runs right into a forearm. Aramis. Myron Reed got caught with a kick. And the middleweight champion just rolls off the apron down to the floor.
And when you've got such great high flyers like Aramis and Ares,
Oh!
you're not even safe on the floor, Rich. There's nowhere safe in a match like this.
Bodies are flying all over the place here tonight in Philadelphia. MLW Vice TV Fightland with the world middleweight title on the line. Champion Aramis.
Come here.
Tajiri. We're going to pry it away from him here tonight. Oh! God, Spanish fly.
It was nice
on
to
the
help, right?
outside.
Quickly rolls him back in. Trying to get the win here.
Aramis takes out the legs from behind, but Harris right back up, connects with the kick. These two luchadors, referred to by Conan as the next breakout stars. Oh God, that could do it. Harris. Oh! Last moment, Aramis got the shoulder up.
Yeah, a lot of damage on a move like that. Just didn't have the right angle to put enough weight on the shoulder. So Aramis able to get the shoulder up, but obviously hurt here. Here's Harris's chance to take advantage.
Oh my God, Myron Reed with the counter. Up into the fireman's carry, Myron Reed. Oh my God, that could do it. Leg hooked, the champion to put it away. Tajiri at the very, very last moment.
The tap and crunch, that would have been it if Tajiri wasn't there to make the save. And a counter to the brainbuster.
Myron Reed, sets into the official. Reed able to put the brakes on. Oh, there's the miss.
Oh, dude.
There's the miss.
Oh, dude, I forgot about this. I forgot that Tajiri had the green mist and did that. That was cool.
Myron Reed's been blinded here. He can't protect himself from there.
Looks like somebody shrunk the Incredible Hulk.
Tajiri. Tajiri's the new middleweight champion of the world.
To do what? Middleweight champion, is that what he said?
This place is going nuts. Tajiri, the new MLW World Middleweight Champion.
Yeah, because you know where they're
First of two
at.
World Championship matches tonight, Rich.
They're at the old ECW arena.
Are they?
Captures the middleweight championship. Hit the miss when the ref wasn't looking. Hit that buzzsaw kick.
Tajiri celebrating your new MLW MLW World Middleweight Champion here tonight in Fightland. All fans coming up in just a moment from our New York studio. Alicia Atout, Dave Meltzer, Raj Giri, Andreas Hale, and Emilio Sparks. It's MLW Embedded.
Episode Destiny calls, but you will not triumph. The black hand of Contra will hunt you down. Tonight, you will be denied your quest for gold. Tonight, the black flag of Contra will be draped over your broken body. Hell, Contra!
Oh my god.
I was good, student. What will live this
This does not look good.
Tom Lawler set to take on Davey Richards. It's our halftime show, MLW Embedded.
It's the interview queen, Alicia Atout, and I'd like to welcome you all to the MLW Vice TV studios right here in New York City. This is MLW Embedded, where we take a look at the biggest stories in the wrestling industry alongside the top journalists and analysts in the business. Now, let's meet our panel. First up, the editor of WrestlingInc.com, Raj Giri. And then we have senior editor of Combat Sports for the Sporting News and co-host of Wrestling with Stereotypes and The Corner podcast, Andreas Hale. And at the end here, we also have host of the Wrestle Rap podcast and producer of Oral Sessions with Renee Paquette, along with Talking Shop with Gallows and Anderson. It's Emilio Sparks. Finally, joining us from his home office in San Jose, California, it is the editor-in-chief of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer. Now here on Embedded, we are not afraid to ruffle some feathers and dive into the hottest stories that might even stir some controversy. And one of the biggest stories buzzing right now, over the last few months, WWE have released tons of staffers, a bunch of talent. Could this potentially be a clue that WWE is for sale? Dave, what's your take on it?
I mean, you always hear stories about a potential sale, and there's economic reasons where you can look at it, in between Vince's age and the value of the company where, it makes sense. The Peacock deal itself pretty much tells you that they're looking at the idea of being able to make a lot of money from bigger companies.
It is interesting because WWE, back in the day, Vince would always say, we're not for sale. Back when they were feuding with WCW, when they were in the dogfight, always saying they weren't for sale. And their tone has changed completely. Now it's, we're open for business. And I know firsthand that WWE and Fox had some talks in 2017. So the topic was broached.
I think this was more of cleaning up the books rather than prepping something for sale. When you sign so much talent, eventually you got to cut the fat. Think of it this way. Vince McMahon.
I want to hear this from the beginning.
And co-host of Wrestling with Stereotypes and The Corner podcast, Andreas Hale. And at the end here, we also have host of the Wrestle Rap podcast and producer of Oral Sessions with Renee Paquette, along with Talking Shop with Gallows and Anderson. It's Emilio Sparks. Finally, joining us from his home office in San Jose, California, it is the editor-in-chief of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer. Now here on Embedded, we are not afraid to ruffle some feathers and dive into the hottest stories that might even stir some controversy. And one of the biggest stories buzzing right now, over the last few months, WWE have released tons of staffers, a bunch of talent. Could this potentially be a clue that WWE is for sale? Dave, what's your take on it?
I mean, you always hear stories about a potential sale, and there's economic reasons where you can look at it, in between Vince's age and the value of the company where, it makes sense. The Peacock deal itself pretty much tells you that they're looking at the idea of being able to make a lot of money from bigger companies.
It is interesting because WWE back in the day, Vince would always say, we're not for sale. Back when they were feuding with WCW, when they were in the dogfight, always saying they weren't for sale. And their tone has changed completely. Now it's, we're open for business. And I know firsthand that WWE and Fox had some talks in 2017. So the topic was broached.
I think this was more of cleaning up the books rather than prepping something for sale. When you sign so much talent, eventually you got to cut the fat.
Think of it this way. Vince McMahon is like Andy from Toy Story. He's got all the toys, so he's playing with them, writes their little names on the foot, then throws them off to the side, brings in some new talent, doesn't really know what this toy does yet. So he's like, okay, what are we going to do? Let's cut the fat. Let's trim it up. Let's make it look all pretty. Let's cause a stir on social media, get everybody talking. And then we renegotiate certain deals like you said.
So, Raj, tell me a little bit about what you know about the field and the potential buyers for WWE.
So CAA, obviously that name comes up. Nick Khan was the head of TV when he was over there. So that's one that makes a lot of sense. Fox and WWE, they had talks back in 2017. So, and they've been partners for years now. And then obviously NBCU and Peacock with how much they're already spending in TV rights. So it makes all the sense in the world to me for someone like an NBCU to start negotiating.
Emilio, you've worked for WWE, you've been around the culture, so I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. How realistic do you think a potential sale might be?
The wrestling fan in me? No, I would not want to see them sell off, but the business side of me, I think it might happen. Maybe not so soon, but maybe down the line in 10 years, I think it's a possibility.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about WWE, but we have to talk about AEW. They have been super aggressive in signing WWE free agents. First, we had CM Punk, then Bryan Danielson, and the latest, Adam Cole. So who do you think might be next?
All right, buckle up.
Ready? Let's go.
Kevin Owens.
Oh.
His contract is supposed to be up. His friends are all in AEW. Adam Cole, the Young Bucks. This makes perfect sense. If he's on the market, you take him.
Well, I think Bray Wyatt seems like an obvious answer. He's super creative. He brings a lot to the table.
I have to jump in here for a second, guys. You've mentioned Kevin Owens, but do any of you have specifics on when his contract might be up, or just any details in general on it?
His contract expires at the end of January. So come February 1st, he's a free agent. He can be wherever he wants to be.
This is so exciting, just trying to think about all of my favorite wrestlers, where they could potentially end up. We did focus on Kevin Owens, but do you happen to know of any other names where their contract could be up fairly soon?
Sami Zayn, his contract is supposed to be coming up early next year as well. Okay. So Sami and Kevin Owens, best friends, have a storied history together. So
Kevin Steen and El Generico back in business? I mean, that sounds exciting, right?
We're talking about so many incredible, massive names, but I actually happen to have a little scoop of my own. Are you guys ready? It's a big one. All right. Coming to Major League Wrestling this fall is the self-proclaimed real IWGP World Champion, Will Ospreay.
Wow.
Yes. Huge. Now, before we hear from you three, because this is some massive, massive news, I want to hear from Dave back home in California. Dave, what are your thoughts on Ospreay?
Will Ospreay is certainly one of the most talented guys in the business today. His drive, his creativity, he's an amazing, amazing performer. I mean, top tier.
I mean, it's huge. That's a huge get. And fans, I think almost anyone would put him in the top three. In the race, easily top five, my top three. So fans getting a chance to see him live, that's a big deal.
I mean, look, you have somebody who's ultra talented, and he's kind of worked on that character and his moveset, and we have an opportunity for the first time to really see him. Myron Reed, Taker 5-2, there's so many matches that he could be in. And this guy's like a 5-star wrestling machine, too. Yeah. It's going to be a treat.
Well, I think that's the thing, too. There's a certain cachet that when you say you are the real IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, he's bringing in an already prestigious title, working for a prestigious company, and might go after the company's biggest championship. The possibilities are endless. I'm really excited. You mentioned Myron Reed. I think Myron and Will absolutely have a match of the year.
That would be high-flying magic.
Burn it down. Yeah. And now we get a chance to see that. Again, it's like, Will Ospreay is a guy that I told my friends you need to watch it. Now you're going to get to see him
in America face to face.
Fans back. Yeah, that's a huge deal. That's a huge get for MLW.
Guys, we're out of time, but thank you so much for being here on MLW Embedded.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next is your MLW Fightland main event. This is the most anticipated fight of the year, Hammerstone, Fatu.
People thought this was the end of their lives. Dying.
Those people truly had no warning.
This is unsustainable. The average American now dies in debt.
While the rest of us die. Narrated by Jeffrey Wright. New season premieres Thursday, October 21st at 10 on Vice.
Of course, do you think I will have the strength to one title match tonight?
Okay, well, the show may not be over, but I've watched enough to hear this one, though. This sucks. Because with the jury being an exception, they've got no one. So I think you don't like it either.
I think it's better if they had, like, you can actually see the people fighting, but no. They just had to, like, lock the damn door instead of seeing the people
Well, no,
fighting.
that was just to build something else. But, yeah, when they go backstage, that's cool. But with only an hour, there's not much you can do. This ring announcer guy looks like Lord Alfred Hayes on crack. Well, they only had 2 matches in a 1-hour show. The thing with Dave Meltzer, where they wrestling news and all that seems cool, but it just takes up too much of the show. And they only have an hour as it is.
He is the world heavyweight champion, Jacob Fatu.
What?
The Sentai Death Squad leading the way.
Okay, so we got
Megalomaniac, the mastermind.
Jacob Fatu, who's representing the Inouye family, who is a member of the Contra Villainous stable.
Since we first saw him here in Major League Wrestling,
And he is a
Wait, he's a member of the
Inouye family.
Inouye family?
Uh-huh.
I didn't even think of that.
And you said one of these 2 men will walk out of this movie tonight. The double champion. Hammerstone, the national openweight champion. He's probably carried that title for close to 2 years. Both of these champions, Rich, have been so impressive in their reigns. No matter who wins, when you look back on the history books, you might say that Hammerstone, his national
What did
championship
they
reign,
say?
was the
Jacob
greatest there ever
Fatu?
was.
Uh-huh.
And Fatu, his world heavyweight championship reign, the greatest there ever was. But whoever wins this match goes down as an instant legend, remembered forever. It is the biggest night of Fatu's life. It is the biggest night of Hammerstone's life. And one man will have ultimate triumph,
and the other man, for the rest of his life, will regret that he wasn't the best.
Here we go, and it is Hammerstone taking charge in the early going.
Hammerstone wasting no time, taking it right to Fatu. They're both champions. You don't want to show any hesitancy early in this match. So much at stake in the early goings in terms of psychological warfare. And right now for Hammerstone to come out so quickly, this is great for him. This is great for his chances. He's holding up Fatu off his feet.
I can't think of a match where I've seen Fatu overpowered early on, like we just saw, but, well, as is usually the case, Fatu seems impervious to pain, and he answers right back. Chops, a headbutt, and now it is Hammerstone.
Both of these men are going to be hit with blows more powerful than they've ever experienced in their careers before. And we'll have to see as this thing goes on, as Fatu wastes no time with that running splash in the corner. We're going to have to see who holds up as we get into the deep waters.
You have a prediction on how long this match will go?
The MLW World Heavyweight Championship, of course, goes back almost 20 years with a big belly suplex. Satoshi Kojima, the first champion in 2002. Fatu, with over 2 years of his dominant reign as he lands on his feet. The two most dominant champions we've ever had here in MLW, Rich.
Oh, okay. So do you remember there was a guy in the AWA and I think in the WWF for a while called the Tonga Kid?
Yeah.
This is his son.
This is the type of fight you stay away from betting wise. Yeah. There's no way to figure this one out.
You're right, because both of these men are so explosive that it could be over very quickly, or knowing how tough both are, this could go the hour time limit.
See, I know my family history is at the dirty E, bro.
So everything is legal. Of course, Samael on the outside.
So Jacob Fatu is their MLW's version of Haru Umaga.
And no disqualification, that's fair game. Samael can't get involved if he feels he needs to.
Saw a small cut on the back of Hammerstone, not sure. But so far, Fatu, this is exactly what he wants to be doing. Slow the pace down a little bit if you can. Keep in those corners.
Hammerstone, look there. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Oh, what a Uranagi.
Swinging Uranagi sends Hammerstone inside out to the floor. And that's not a place you want to be against Contra. We haven't had anybody with a clear advantage yet. I think the floor certainly favors Fatu, though.
Fatu really jawing at the fans, and you wonder how much that could affect things as the night goes on, as this match goes on.
What is it doing here?
Balancing on the guardrail. And a moonsault off the guardrail. Wipes out Hammerstone. Listen to this place.
A 300-pound man, barefoot, just did a backflip off those guardrails as they were shaking. The balance, the dexterity, the physical skill that we see from this man. The baddest man on the planet for a reason, Rich.
Hammerstone trying to crawl away. Getting back hold of Samael, bounces his head off the apron. And Hammerstone with bad intentions here.
Well, both of these fighters have bad intentions with every blow they throw. That's what's made them so successful here in MLW.
No. Back elbow there by Hammerstone. Take another look at this moonsault.
It's good, but I don't think this is something I'd watch every week as opposed to like Dynamite or Raw, whatever that Rampage.
And you've got SmackDown.
Yeah, what I'm saying is those hold my interest enough to watch every week. This really does not.
Our goal is just to simply show the world a window as
Oops. Hold on.
Get almost like this.
Your business. Expert bookkeepers who understand your business. Intuit QuickBooks Live Bookkeeping.
Hey, I'm Vince. I do construction. But in my mind, I'm a professional hip-hop dancer. That's why I always practice my dance moves and skills with Beachbody Super Trainer Sean T. When I do the size workouts with Beachbody, it feels like I'm right there in the class with Sean, learning the freshest moves and having fun. It's time to start dancing. Ooh, that's my jam right there. Peace.
Try Size by Beachbody free for 14 days.
A brand new car loses roughly 50% of its value in the first 3 years. A used car doesn't. Second grade
The
level
fuck was that?
still valuable.
With what?
That dude was on a girl's body. Ew. Anyways, back to the
He's in control and he knows. Sometimes when you have such natural gifts like Fatu does, you get almost like this glee just from showing the world these impossible feats that you can accomplish. And that's what we're seeing here in Hammerstone. Has taken so much punishment, Rich. He can't even stay up. Fatu stalking Hammerstone like a wounded animal, figuring out his next move here. Head first into the steel chair.
How do you come back from this? Well, if you're Hammerstone, he's been sent into chairs.
It's not looking good for Hammerstone. He's taking a lot of punishment. We've seen in the past he can withstand a lot. Has a lot of stamina, especially for a man with the physicality that he has in terms of muscularity. Hammerstone's got great stamina. But the moonsaults, the head to the chair. Could this be the end soon for Hammerstone? Oh no, Jacob. Oh no.
Come on now.
Oh no.
Oh my God. Oh my God, coast to coast.
more like a Van Daminator.
Fatu grabbed the chair, went up on top.
Somebody had an LWO first.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Hammerstone
Remember WCW, they had the Latino World Order? Somebody in the audience here just had an LWO first.
Not only that, they had like the BWO t-shirt.
Well, I didn't see that, but I just happened to catch that LWO first quick.
Now that nerve hold.
When you've worn someone down like that, this is brilliant strategy. I'm sure this is Samael suggesting this. Really wear him down when he can't.
Come on, Fatu.
Hammerstone trying to find the second win. Back elbow down. Oh man, and a side suplex.
Who are you gonna go for?
I don't know. I don't. This isn't something. Well, this is something I can get into every week.
Hammerstone defending. Got the leg up and then with a big kick. Fatu retreating to the far corner. And Hammerstone. Oh! Exploder into the corner.
This is the opening that Hammerstone needed. He was able to weather the storm. He needed one big move, especially that could create some separation here because he's been crowded for so long. And that exploder suplex to the floor is exactly what he needed. Now Hammerstone has some space to pick up the pace and really inflict some more damage on Fatu.
Can he capitalize? Running clothesline. Corner to corner, running high knee. Hammerstone again with a big uppercut. Oh, single leg drop kick by the National Openweight champion for the world title. Cover and oh, Fatu on a 2.5. Major League Wrestling here tonight from Philadelphia on Vice TV. Fightland. The World Championship is on the line.
and the national championship.
One man will leave a double champion. Will it be Hammerstone, the national openweight champion? Will it be Jacob Fatu, the world champion? Both men undefeated here in MLW for more than 2 years.
Hammerstone looking to follow up here. Oh, counter into the fireman's carry.
Hammerstone able to slide free. Bicycle kicking. Oh, God. Hammerstone went down. His knee buckled. Oh, what a German suplex. We'll see if Hammerstone's knee gives him trouble. Doesn't seem to be at the moment. Sit out powerbomb into the cover. Not enough.
If Mark, Mr. Cartoon, Machop.
Off the top. The world champion. Oh, and Hammerstone. How smart. How smart. He knew he was in trouble and said, out I go. All over the bottom rope, and now it is Fatu left to think of his next move.
We talked about it earlier. Taking high risk, which you have to take if you want a high reward, and that reward could be to unify the titles in a suicide dive. Jacob Fatu, head first, putting his body on the line. And Hammerstone, who's already struggling to stand, just had a 300-pound Samoan go head first and sending him crashing into that guardrail. I don't even know if Hammerstone can get back to the ring.
He's having trouble getting up.
Wow. And you saw the heads connect, head to chin. Hammerstone certainly can be dizzy here. Get to his feet, though.
Having a hard time putting some weight on his left leg. Fatu tracks to the outside. Main event here on MLW. Fightland from Philadelphia, the 2300 Arena.
No.
Hammerstone slingshot to the outside.
A picture-perfect Cascado from the national openweight champion. The mountain of muscle just went flying over the top rope to the floor as both men continue to amaze us here in our Fightland main event. No.
Hammerstone slingshot to the outside.
A picture-perfect Cascado from the national openweight champion.
What? That means
Muscle just went
some other show starts October 21st at 9. That means either Dark Side of the Ring is not going to be on anymore, or they're going to switch to a different time. I hope they switch to a different time instead of
not disappointed. This is one of the greatest matches I've ever seen here.
going off the air
This one
completely.
is classic. Already. I mean, what a war. Hammerstone, bad knee and all, going to the top. Fatu to his feet. Missile drop kick by Hammerstone, and Fatu crashed into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, I think he might have hit the back of his head on that rumble.
Man, the walking wounded.
We are seeing the two best heavyweights in the world completely destroy each other here in the 2300 Arena. The fans showing their appreciation. This war of attrition that's taking place before our eyes, Rich, has lived up to every expectation.
Okay, show's over. That's enough. This is boring. Okay, so basically, here's the bottom line on MLW. They're a wannabe ECW, and they're not, and they never will be.
led a life of violence and mayhem that was shockingly real.
Actually, well, thank you for joining us on this special
Like I said,
MLW.
MLW is a wannabe ECW, and they never will be.
What's a guilt-free fall dessert?
I'm John.
You've got one though, right?
I'm Michael Paul. We'll see you later. Have a good weekend.
Hands down, my favorite recipe this time of year. In fact, this recipe